So, to get started, Nico, darling, we are drinking some of my favorite white wine.
Okay.
I hope you like white. It's called Mata.
Love it.
And I like it because the little snow, I don't even know what it is, the snowflake on there, when it turns blue like the mountains, it's cold and it's ready to go.
So it's like Coors.
So it's like Coors, but it's like Coors for wine.
I love it.
So, yes, I love a good bottle of wine. I can't seem to drink.
What kind of wine is this?
It's a Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay.
So I tend to like things a little bit on the drier side. Personal preference. So, cheers, honey.
Salud.
Salud.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for coming on in. Okay, and then lastly,
Are we filming already?
we are filming.
No.
We are all going.
Thanks for the heads up.
We're all going. Okay, so we have a sponsor on the show called Light Your Way Candles, so LYW Candles. You can find them at, and they were kind enough to send us a candle, and this is what you're going home with.
Shut up.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So,
awesome.
So Drunken Pumpkin is one of their fall scents.
Thank you
that
so
I love.
much. Oh my God. Thanks, LYW.
Yes. So we're going to light it up.
That smells amazing.
It smells really good, and then they come with these little tops that you can plant, and like things come out of it. Like here.
Wait, you're kidding me.
No, I swear to God. It's
I
amazing.
love this.
Yes. And this wick is one of those like...
Wait, does it tell you what you're actually planting?
I think they're sunflower seeds.
Innocent.
Right?
No, it doesn't say.
It doesn't say?
Your wildflowers grow, so it's just a set of wildflowers.
Set of wildflowers.
I love it.
All right. And then this is a
How fun.
wick, kind of like the fire crackle ones.
Oh, yeah.
So I love that. And we'll...
And it's like a nice ambience. You already get the candle, like, flame, and then you get the crackling.
Yeah, get the crackle going.
It's like a little, DIY fireplace at home.
Exactly. Because none of us in the city actually have time to, like, get our own fire pit.
Or can afford that.
Can afford one. Okay, so.
Candle will do.
Candle will do. And, like, don't you love that sound?
I love that sound.
I love that sound.
Yeah.
It, like, instantly puts me in
There's
a better
something
mood.
therapeutic about it, right? It's kind of like the sound of running water.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I can't explain it.
No,
but
I get it. And I think, like, this time of year, because it's fucking raining outside right now and
Yeah.
it's freezing, like, you just want a candle, you want a sweater,
Yeah.
and it's perfect. So everyone who's listening right now, you can go to lywcandles.com or find them on their Facebook and Instagram page, which is LYW Candles, and get 20% off your next order. The holidays are around the corner, which is crazy to think about. So candles are a great, easy gift. And as someone who has been unemployed for the last 7 months, all I can afford to buy anyone is a candle. So use the promo code BARTALK20 to get 20% off your next order.
It's pretty good. And I actually love the aesthetics of this. It's super clean.
Right?
Yeah,
I
it was
love
pretty.
I love the like simplicity
Yeah.
of the candle, and it's just very crisp looking, and it looks very expensive.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I mean that in a good way.
And you're getting 20% off.
Yeah, it's good 20% off. Okay, so Nico, the way that this whole like conversation kind of came about was very organically, which is
Okay.
what I also love. You and I share someone very near and dear to both of our hearts. My cousin Terry Ann, you've worked with Terry forever. And she was like, you should totally do a show on Botox. And I kind of was like, are you, like, I didn't realize how many people were doing Botox until I started talking to, people I work with, girlfriends, family, whatever. And then once I started talking to people, I was like, oh my God, everyone's doing this. So if everyone's doing it, let's be educated, let's be safe, let's be smart, and let's be informed.
Yeah.
So before we go down that road, tell me, how long have you been in the medical field now? Just like a little background on you for people that are listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started off my medical background actually working as an EMT in the ER. That's actually how I met your cousin Terry.
Small world.
Right? So yeah, I was in the ER. She was actually my boss because I was the tech and she was the nurse. So she told me what to do. But I learned a lot from her. She was awesome.
Fantastic.
She's actually one of the few, influences that inspired me to actually become a nurse. Didn't really know what I wanted to do exactly, but I knew I wanted to start in the ER, right?
Yeah.
I kind of just like the chaotic mess of it, high pressure, no stress, right?
Oh, yeah. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
So I started, did my EMT for a little bit, went back and got a post-bac, a quick 18 months, another bachelor's, but this time in nursing, and then worked in the same ER. By the time I became a nurse, Terry was actually gone, which was really sad because we shared so many laughs, and I was missing that counterpart. But, and then I did ER nursing for a couple years, and then loved it, had fun, but between being a tech in the ER and now nursing for an ER, that was like 7 years in the ER.
Wow.
Yeah, and I kind of started to get burnt out, honestly. it's kind of crazy because I was only a nurse for like a little over 2 years in the ER as a nurse.
Oh my God. No.
So burnout really hit me fast. I loved it. You know, you really saw a little bit of every part about life, whether it was, you know, comical, sad, happy. You saw it all, but it really took a toll. So I wanted to switch gears, and I actually wanted to do something where I can actually, you know, develop relationships. Deep down inside of me, I feel like growing up, like I always wanted to become like a plastic surgeon or a cosmetic surgeon. I always thought that was like really interesting. I even remember to this day watching, gosh, this is probably 10 plus years ago. ABC7 had a Extreme Makeover, but it was designed. It wasn't like House Edition.
I was gonna say Home Edition.
It was People Edition.
Okay.
And they would do like complete like 180s of people who like, you know, had like a tough life and they just like wanted that confidence booster. So whether it was like facial cosmetic or it was like dental cosmetic, or it was like a whole like wellness with like you know, emotional health, physical health, they kind of did the full package.
Oh my God.
And I totally remember, you know, just really being in awe and loving that part of medicine. So here we are today. You know, I left the ER and I made a total career change and went into aesthetics, and I love it.
So how long have you been an aesthetic nurse for now?
A little over 2 years. I've been practicing injectables now for.
Okay. And just to med spa, correct? Med SpaDerma?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
SpaDerma.
SpaDerma. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So, as someone who is going into an industry where I accepted this kind of, we have those talks is what we'll say.
Yeah.
So I knew I always wanted to be on TV. I knew I wanted to do sports, and as a woman, and to be honest, like even as a man, and we'll get into like that part of it too, but like I kind of accepted the fact that like, okay, maybe at some point down the line, like Botox is something that I would have to do, or is something that I would have to do if I wanted to still be on TV and still looking my best, because unfortunately that's just kind of the package that it comes in.
Yeah.
I started taking preventative measures with like my skincare routine of just like, you know, having retinol creams, having serums, having eye creams. So before anyone decides to go ahead and like fully inject themselves with Botox, what do you think are the best preventative measures that like people in their like early 20s to even like their late 20s, you know, mid 30s can even like start doing now?
Absolutely. Skincare. You know, that's where it all kind of stems from.
Yeah.
So if I always tell my patients who are doing injectables, you know, I could do your treatments here, but if you're not doing your own things at home, like your own homework, then honestly, these treatments are kind of like, they're half treated, right?
It's almost like physical therapy is what it sounds like.
Totally. You have to do your own part. So by doing your own part, you got to take care of your skin. The basic like Holy Grail skincare, this is my take, right?
Yes.
Sunscreen. You got to be wearing sunscreen. You can't ever start too late in the game.
Yeah.
And that's something that, like, you know, our mothers put on us when we were babies, right? It started right there, protecting your skin just from the UV ray and the damage. Vitamin C. Vitamin C is actually one of my favorite preventative measures. Vitamin C is something that should be applied on in the morning. There's serums. And vitamin C is great for just brightening up your skin. It's going to stimulate collagen, elastin, things that are going to keep your skin looking, you know, fresh and premature, right? It's going to prevent the aging process. Vitamin C isn't corrective, so if you have skin damage, it doesn't really do anything to
fix it almost.
Fix it. Yeah, but it's going to prevent future skin damage.
Gotcha.
But most importantly, you know, it's going to help just like collagen and elastin. And then, you know, another counterpart that's like that on steroids is retinol. Retinol is just vitamin A, and what it does, it tells your body create new skin cells, right? So you're kind of getting a new fresh layer of skin. That's like one of the best things that you can do preventatively. So retinol is going to help induce collagen, elastin. If you have lines at rest, what we call static lines when you're not making expressions, retinol is actually going to help kind of buff it out because you get a new fresh layer of skin. So that is like really the three holy grail of skincare right there. Sunscreen, vitamin C serum, and retinol, which is vitamin A. I cannot like drill that enough in my patient's skincare routine, and I think everybody should be on that going into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. You should never stop those products.
Okay, so maybe a stupid question. No. So vitamin C, like, I don't know, again, just asking, but like the vitamin C packets that we take, can that Or is it like strictly just a serum?
A serum, yeah.
Okay.
So, vitamin C, if you topically, when
Yeah.
you put it on your skin, it's going to help your body from like the free radicals that we have like in the environment. So it's an antioxidant. Free radicals are just naturally found like, in our environment, and they damage the skin. So by applying this as a baseline, it's going to help prevent like, more external factors that happen like in, from day to day that we find.
Yeah.
No,
you're good. It's okay. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty.
Yeah, cheers.
That's the beauty. Take a drink.
Should we drink for every time that I mess up?
We can. I'm totally fine with that. Because again, we have a full bottle right there. So
that's hilarious. Yeah. So vitamin C is just going to protect antioxidants, things that are found in the environment that are going to cause damage to the skin.
Okay.
And that's why it's important to be on that. It's not going to be the same as taking vitamin C.
Got you.
And ingest that. You want to put this on topically to protect the skin.
Okay. And then with retinol, because I know I added a retinol cream. You can't tell now, but I had really bad acne as like a teenager, and then into like my early 20s, probably from being an athlete. Just I was playing 5-7 days a week. I don't know, whatever it was, but like you're sweating all the time. You're not I wasn't on top of it. So I started getting these like underlying scars on my cheeks that I thought were pimples, but they weren't pimples. They were like acne scars. So someone was like, add retinol to your, skin regimen. So I started adding retinol and it actually helped with it. Like I couldn't believe the like night and day-ness to it. So like, okay. So
retinol, keep talking
no,
about
yeah,
retinol.
but I guess it helps. So like for people, so retinol does help with lines and it also helps with scars. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, honestly. So
Okay.
like we'll break it down a little bit. So again, retinol is just vitamin A.
Okay.
Vitamin A, what it does is it tells your body to create new skin cells. So medically
Gotcha.
we call that cell proliferation. So a new fresh layer of skin, right?
Okay.
So commonly most people are placed onto retinols or retinoids. That's actually the purest form of vitamin A is retinoid, and then there's all these different derivatives from retinoids. Okay. So when you get a retinol over the counter, like at like Sephora, that is just a derivative of vitamin A, of the retinoid. Okay,
It's not like the strongest version of the vitamin A.
It's just a softer derivative of it because they can't sell the medical grade version of it because it's just too strong. You need a doctor prescription for that.
Got you.
But yeah, so because you get a new fresh layer of skin and it's like exfoliating your skin, it is going to help with like acne breakouts. But it's going to help with static lines because you get that new fresh layer of skin. So
Like constantly rejuvenating almost.
Totally, 100%. Yeah. When you do use it, your skin does get a little dry, gets a little flaky, irritated, and that's just because you get that new fresh layer. So we always tell patients, or anyone who's like, wanting to start to get on board with a retinol is to less is more, right? You want to do a little bit at a time because it does catch up to you. So if you put it on today, you don't see the effects of it tomorrow. You see it a few days later. So less is more because if you just use too much, you're going to be peely, gross, and flaky, and then you're actually going to not like it, and then you're going to get off of it.
Right.
So less is more with a retinol when you first start off.
Got you. Okay, so those are our preventative measures. Okay, so
Yes.
now let's get into Botox. Botox has been around, or it's probably been around for a lot longer than it's been like pre-approved for, we'll say.
Yeah.
But 2002 is when it kind of was like pre-approved.
You did your research.
I did my homework.
It.
I told you I did my homework. And I think it said something like it's 400 million people use Botox, which I was like, I definitely knew it was a lot. I didn't know if it was, I was shocked at how much it was. So for those listening, break down just like the very basic layman's terms, like what Botox is exactly.
Absolutely. So, Botox is just a type of medication that we call neuromodulators, right? So it is a paralytic. What it does is it actually goes molecularly to the cells and it stops your body or the cells, your muscle contractions from sending the signal to each other to contract, right?
Oh.
So think about two people playing baseball and you start to build a wall between them and they're not able to play catch anymore because that wall is blocking them.
Yeah.
Botox does that. It puts a wall up between your cells so that your cells cannot send a signal to each other. Okay.
Interesting.
There are different types of neuromodulators on the market. So Botox, it's been around the longest since, like you said, 2002. So it's like, trade name. It's like kind of like Kleenex, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows Botox.
Oreos.
Yeah, totally, right? Let's be real.
I like
Oreos.
a sweet. I have a sweet tooth. I'm sorry.
So, Botox is like your Oreos, okay? Botox, Dysport, Z-Min, and there actually is a new one that just got released this summer. It's called Juno. I think I'm pronouncing it right, but it's also like AKA called Nutox.
Okay.
I don't really have any experience working with the Nutox, but those are like the most common like neuromodulators that we use.
I hope that's Jasper walking in, because if not, this would be a really bad moment to get robbed right now. Jasper.
Unless if it's your cat.
Are you done?
No, we're on, and you could just say hi.
Terry's on. I forgot.
Oh, we talked about her earlier on this too.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, Tara.
She hangs up.
She hangs up. Okay, anyways, sorry about the sidetrack, guys. Continue. So the new one just came out. It's called Juno, you said.
Juno, yeah.
Yes.
So, let's go back. What was the question again?
The question was just breaking down what is Botox for people who, because I know it kills the nerve where you're not contracting it. So that's what stops those lines from causing those wrinkles that people get, which is why they want to get rid of them.
Yeah. So it's not killing it. Literally what it's doing is just blocking the receptors. It's putting like a blockage on the receptors so that they cannot communicate to each other to have a contraction.
Gotcha.
The best analogy that I give people, so like when we start to develop lines at rest where we're not making expression, essentially that's skin damage. So think about a piece of paper. Every time you fold that piece of paper, that crease gets deeper and deeper and deeper, right? In order for that crease to start to soften up, you gotta stop the folding, right?
Yeah.
So what Botox is doing, it is stopping your muscles from folding that piece of paper, aka your skin that's living on top of it or sitting on top of it, so that these lines can start to soften over time.
Interesting. Okay.
So
yeah,
and Botox, we use it for a couple things. One, corrective, right? So we use it to start to soften these lines that we have, and then we also use it for preventative measures that a lot of millennials now are using to weaken the muscles so that they don't ever develop these lines.
So you literally went straight into my next question, which is it's like a flip, kind of, I don't want to say double-edged sword, but I've heard the expression, definitely start Botox when you're younger because you won't need it as much when you get older. But then I've heard the other side of you're starting it younger, so you're creating this lifetime consumer. So I guess the question is, what are the benefits of starting younger? Like, is it something that you're going to need forever in life?
Yeah, so it's definitely not a need, it's a want, right?
Yeah.
So the nice thing about Botox is that you can start it and stop it whenever you want.
Really?
Yeah, there is.
So it's not like getting your hair dyed where I'm going to have the lines in my hair that come down to here where I eventually have to get my hair re-dyed again.
No.
Okay.
So what will happen though, your movement will slowly start to come back, and then eventually it will be back to where it was prior to your treatments, right? So the only way we take our muscles, our facial muscles, quote unquote, to the gym is by making facial expressions, right? That's the only way they get stronger and stronger. Hence, as we start to age, you can start to see the muscles more on your face, right? And then those muscles, because now they're stronger, they create deeper lines, or they cause that folding or that skin damage, right? So if we start soon enough with these treatments at a younger age as a preventative measure, your muscles are never going to get strong to the point that they're creating lines on your face, right? Or creating these static lines. So that is one of the benefits about starting preventatively.
Right.
Now, with these treatments, we recommend them to be every 3 to 4 months. For someone who's younger, more I'd say someone in their early 20s.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that they need to come in every 3 to 4 months. I think that is more, they can come in maybe once or twice a year as a preventative measure, just to keep their facial muscles atrophied or just weakened so that lines don't start to form.
Is there an age that's too early?
So, at SpaDerma, we don't treat anybody who's younger than 18. So you have to be at least 18 years old in order to receive any type of injectable, cosmetic injectable. So I would say, there's no reason to really start anytime sooner than 18.
Yeah.
I usually tell people, once you start to see the static lines, it's probably the most appropriate time to start treating, because once you get those lines, they only get deeper.
True.
And then once they're there, it's skin damage. So
that's crazy. I never looked at it as a skin damage type of way of
of thinking.
Like I never
right.
did. So one of the questions we got, I kind of got asked through my poll, and this came up a lot, was the cost.
Okay, sure.
So break, because I know they come, what's the word? Actually,
units.
Units, yes, that's it. So like, say for example, we'll use me as the dummy, okay?
Absolutely.
So like, I have really bad forehead wrinkles, and I want to, start getting it done. So I go in for one treatment. How many units are you putting in me, and what is the cost of that going to be?
Yeah, so let's break down units. Like, what does units actually mean?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, most people have no idea what a
I know,
unit is,
right? Like there are units, but I definitely have no idea what it means. Yeah.
So unit is just a standard measurement, centimeters, feet, inches. Unit just means a very, very small value.
Gotcha.
The medication is so potent that it can't be delivered in a big quantity. So it's just given in a very small, minuscule amount, okay?
Nice.
So, there is an average of like, I guess, for instance, like, it's very tailored. So the stronger your muscles present, then the more units you're going to need in order to relax that muscle.
So when you say stronger, you mean like someone who has like extremely aggressive frown lines?
Totally. Someone who has very aggressive frown lines, someone who you can actually see their muscles contract, bulky muscles.
Yeah.
I'm kind of picturing right now like a very like Neanderthal muscular man, like that's a strong muscle, right? So when we have new patients or any patient coming in for a consult, what we're looking at is how strong are your muscles, right? And then from there, we dose appropriately. So my dosage compared to your dosage is like 180.
Right.
Right? So when we first start off with any treatment, we're always conservative because the way that these medications work is it takes a full 2 weeks for an onset. So you don't see the full results until 14 days after you're injected.
Kind of like COVID. Kind of like COVID.
So, you could always add in more. You can't take away. So it's always great to be conservative.
Gotcha.
Now, you mentioned how many units would you require for your forehead?
Yeah.
So this is where it gets a little tricky.
It sounds like it's a case-by-case scenario.
It is case-by-case.
Okay.
But traditionally for like a female, we wouldn't just treat the forehead. We would do a combo treatment. We would treat between your brows and treat your forehead.
Okay.
The reason is your forehead is the only muscle that actually lifts your brows up, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So if I were to just relax that muscle and not treat the muscle in between your brows that pull down, well, then you're making it easier for that muscle between your brows to pull down because nothing is pulling up anymore above it, right?
So you would almost have furrowed brows if you didn't do that.
You would have dropped eyebrows, and you could
that would be
actually
weird.
Look masculine.
Yeah,
because men have flatter eyebrows.
Yeah.
So for a female, we always treat between the brows if we treat the forehead. Okay.
Okay.
So I want you to actually furrow in your eyebrows and make an angry face for me. Great, perfect. And I want you to raise your eyebrows all the way up. So between the two different areas, I'm probably looking around like 27, 28 units for you. And that's like a nice, like conservative treatment.
Okay.
With these treatments, I want you to look like you. You're young, right?
Yes, I'm young.
Young people are expressive. I'm
so expressive. I can't help it sometimes.
And you're also like, right, you are, so to speak, like a TV person, right?
Yes, on the track to it, we'll say.
Yeah, on the track,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So like you need to have expressions, right?
Yeah.
But young people are expressive. So if I knock out your expressions, you're going to look older than you are because young people are expressive. So what we want to do is just quiet and tame down the muscles so that you're not creating lines when you are expressive.
Gotcha.
So
if I'm getting 27 units, for example, in my brows and forehead, what is that cost going to be then for 27 units?
So, it's different all across the board, like throughout like Chicagoland area. I would say probably at SpaDerma.
Let's go SpaDerma. Yeah, of course.
We charge $12 a unit.
Okay.
So between those two areas, I don't have a calculator in front of me right now. But you're probably looking around somewhere around like $300 for those two areas. Did I get that right?
I was gonna say, about 320, 324. So.
Okay.
You got it. I mean, people are like, oh my God, Jenna, none of us could do basic math. And you're like, you're damn right. I didn't realize that this wasn't something you had to like upkeep and maintain, which I think most people assume if you start it, this is going to cost me so much money. And like, as of now, someone who's 27 who has no real responsibilities. I don't have kids. I don't have a family.
Sure.
I don't have a mortgage. Like
now's the time to spoil yourself.
Now's the time to spoil yourself. But then you think about like, okay, if this is going to end up costing me, you know, let's just say on my forehead alone and my eyebrows, like $1,000 a year to maintain this. And
which I feel like that is honestly a fair number.
It's a fair number, but like this isn't obviously something that like as you're getting older you don't have to always do, which like I think most people like, I feel like we're debunking stuff right now, which I like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that a
you know,
lot.
and like the thing is like these are obviously luxury treatments, right? Like not everyone can afford them.
Correct.
You know, some people go to Great Clips, some people go to a nice bougie salon to get their hair done, right?
Right.
But why we do these things is to feel good about ourselves, right?
Correct.
Because when you look good, you feel good.
Look
right?
good, look good, feel good,
They're
do
all
good.
confidence boosters.
It is, yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of like the price you pay is it's
all within, and
it's all internal factors. Like you
Yeah.
don't do this for anybody else; you do this for yourself.
And I always say too. So I've said this in my like intro to the podcast, but I got my teeth done.
Okay.
So
Look at those beauties.
I love my teeth. And I had a really bad accident when I was 10 years old,
Okay.
which eventually caused me to have to get the fake teeth. It took 15 years, lots of surgeries, lots of money. But I, on the inside, never felt like who Jenna was. Like
Sure.
on the outside, I was like on the inside, I was like, I know I'm supposed to be this person who has this big, beautiful, radiant smile, who's always talking and chipper and like, again, wanted to be on camera and wanted to do
Right.
this. But if you don't have that smile, I always ended up talking like this. And I was really quiet. So I always say, if you can do one thing on the outside to make you feel like $1 million on the inside, like fucking do it. Like,
you know what?
fucking
You live
do
once,
it. You
right?
only live once. And again, like, you're doing this for you. You're not doing this
You're not doing it for anybody
anyone
else. Yeah. And going back
yeah,
to it,
yeah,
I
yeah.
always tell people, like, you know, with every medication or any medical procedure, there are risks, right?
Of course.
But what I always tell people, the number one side effect of this medication or any neuromodulators is addiction.
Yes.
Right? And it's an expensive addiction.
And we've seen it go botched.
Yes.
We'll call it.
Yeah.
So before we kind of get into that, because you kind of like mentioned something else, I feel like another big trend now is Botox parties.
Sure.
I know you said you should never ever get fillers done at a Botox party. And
Yes.
I'm always weary because I'm like, it's a medical procedure. Why would I get this done on my girlfriend's couch?
Right.
Where she's probably had sex on the couch. Like, that's just probably not safe. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
So, again, if someone's going to a Botox party,
Yeah.
what would you want them to know before they're, like, fully letting someone inject something in them?
You know, so before someone goes to like a Selling Sunset Botox and Burgers party, right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I would just say that, like, you know, just make sure you know you know a little information about who's injecting, right? So, are they medically licensed?
Okay.
Like, who is doing your injections? Because
You need
legally,
more wine.
thank you, in the state of Illinois, you have to have a medical license that allows you to inject a medication. So,
Okay.
I think that's like priority is like making sure you're going to a safe place,
Yeah.
right? Now, I don't really endorse Botox parties just because I feel like you lose that sense of like rapport, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were to come to me in the salon and visit me for a treatment, I would want like follow up with you. I would want to make sure that you like your treatment. I want to make sure that I have a good chart with you where I can be like, oh, do you know what? We didn't like this treatment with this many units here, but we like this, you know? So I think it's like great to like have that established relationship. And you also like, you know, the best thing about like these treatments is that I get to see my patients every 3 to 4 months and I get to build a relationship, right? And I think that's like my favorite part about this job is just that whole connection part. You don't get that at a Botox party. You're paying a lot of money for a luxury service, and I think that's one of the best parts of it is that you have to is delivering a relationship, and you won't get that with a Botox party. So I think, again, like, you know, make sure you're going to somebody who has a license and they're safe. Make sure they're getting real product, right? Like, you don't really know what someone's going to be injecting in the basement of a friend's party. I don't know. It's kind of scary.
It's very... It's always freaked me out where I'm like, okay, you guys have fun, but like, I don't want to say I'm a skeptic, but I kind of like what you're saying. It's like, I don't know who you are. Like, I haven't done my homework on you. I haven't read your Yelp reviews.
Right.
I don't know if you're
Where
legit
are they
or
getting
not.
their medication from?
Yeah, like,
you know, is it stored properly? You know, Botox or most neuromodulators, they need to be stored and they have to be refrigerated. If they aren't refrigerated, they lose their potency. So, you know, there's so many red flags about Botox parties if they're not done correctly. So I think it's just like smart to like choose your injectors wisely and choose your place of injections wisely. And that brings me to my next point too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Groupons. So you can find Botox, special on Groupons. I think that's another factor. Like, do your research. Like, there's probably a reason why someone's selling their Botox on Groupon, right? So I think that those are just kind of other red flags that you need to be aware of.
Yeah.
I love the quote, good Botox is never cheap, and cheap Botox is never good.
Oh my God, it's
Isn't
so
that the
true.
truth?
It's so true. Yeah.
So, just be careful. Do your research.
Yeah.
I think that's the most smartest thing of a consumer.
Yeah, do your homework. Okay, so people also get Botox not just for aesthetic reasons, but there are also like medical reasons. I know headaches are a big one.
Sure.
I actually played with a teammate who we won't name names because I don't want to potentially embarrass her.
You're a good friend.
But I try to be. But she got Botox in her armpit because she had such severe
hyperhidrosis.
Yes, in her hands.
Excessive sweating.
She had excessive sweating in her hands, and her mom thought that was why she never got a date, was because she had really sweaty hands, which I was like, that's adorable, but it's also really sad at the same time.
Totally.
But what are other reasons that people go in besides like the sweating and all that stuff?
Yeah, so you can actually control excessive sweating with Botox. We do not treat hands or the soles of the feet at SpaDerma. We do underarms, which is great. Other people get Botox for migraine control. TMJ.
That's the clenched jaw,
that's the
right?
Clenched jaw, yeah.
Okay.
So we actually treat that too at SpaDerma, but not for. We can't diagnose and treat medical conditions, but what we can actually treat it for, and this is more trendy now, is a lot of females are coming in for facial slimming. So when you have
a facial slimming?
Well, facial slimming is when you have really strong predominant masseter muscles, and you just don't want that boxy masculine look, and you just want to start slimming your masseters so that you have more of an hourglass or
like
sweet,
delicate feminine,
feminine like sweetheart shape,
Oh.
But mind you, there are so many beautiful women that have strong masseter muscles.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston, J-Lo.
I was gonna say that's like the jawline.
Yeah,
right?
the jawline, right.
Okay.
So if you don't like that boxy, squared off masculine look, you can slim your masseters over time. Other like areas that you can treat with Botox is for like little cosmetic tweaks. So like if you have an overactive muscle that causes you to have like a gummy smile, we can actually just do a couple placements of Botox in the muscles just so less gum show.
Wow.
Yeah, so like quick little like easy tweaks that we can do. Another trendy thing right now is this lip flip that a lot of people. I'm not sure if you've heard about that.
Okay, so this one of the questions, and I'm gonna pull it up right now, is from my.
Should we wait, or is that okay?
No,
okay.
we can do it right now. Is one of my girlfriends who said, what is the difference between a filler and a lip flip, and is one better than the other? Because, and again, like I'm jumping ahead, so I'm trying not to jump ahead. But with fillers, like I like my lips. I don't think I have like.
Well, you have beautiful lips, right?
I like my lips.
And you have great volume in your lip.
And I have good volume, but I also know there are people like, who have like very like thin pencil lips. So like if you want a little something, like obviously go ahead. And actually when I was getting my teeth done, I had to wear a retainer that flipped my...
I was going to say, it probably gave you more volume.
Okay, it gave me more volume. And a manager that I worked with was like, what did you do to your lips? And I remember, I was looking at her, I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, they look great. Like, keep it. And I was like, I didn't do anything. It's just a retainer? I was like, it was the retainer, like, pushing it up. So that's a side note. But, I mean... So many people are getting fillers done now. We've seen the good ones. We've seen the bad fucking ones. Awful ones.
Definitely.
But what would you tell someone who is trying to figure out between a filler and a flip?
Yeah, so they're completely different from each other in 180.
Okay.
So a lip flip is going to be achieved by using a neuromodulator like Botox or Dysport.
Okay.
Lip filler is going to be with a filler, so like a hyaluronic acid, right?
Okay.
The end goal is that you are seeking more volume in your lips, and you can get it with both. So what Botox does, it actually it relaxes your orbicularis oris, which is your mouth muscle, right?
Okay.
So what it's doing is relaxing that muscle so that it pops up and you have a little bit more pink of your upper lip.
So
you can actually do your bottom lip too a bit. So
it would just like relax where like this like little like almost sweetheart line right here is just like slightly going up.
Totally.
Okay.
I actually call it like the disappearing lip act. So some people when they smile, they just like lose their whole
Yeah, they
lip.
do. Yes.
So they're great candidates for a lip flip because they have an overactive orbicularis oris muscle. So when they smile, it like almost like it curls into the lip.
It's like you're curling your toes under.
Totally.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm thinking like Wizard of Oz right now.
I'm with you though. I get what you're going. I totally get where you're going.
So
yes.
yeah, so it curls in, but with using a little bit of the Botox, you can actually keep it relaxed so that when you do smile or even like at rest, you got more pink that shows. So it's almost like I feel like a lot of people will come in and try a lip flip first if they're like on the fence of like getting the filler because they're not ready for the filler.
Right.
They do the lip flip, but then they realize that because we use such a small amount in this area, that it doesn't last long. You're looking at like 4 to 6 weeks.
The lip flip doesn't last long.
It's a very small amount of units, so it doesn't last long. So then
that's something you have to maintain then over time.
That's something that you have to maintain and keep coming in every 4 to 6 weeks if you want that extra volume in the lip. But so fillers are kind of like,
How long do you... Because, I mean, fillers... Like, I just think of fillers and I think of Kylie fucking Jenner.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
like, we've seen...
I mean, I feel like Kylie Jenner really...
created the lip. And I bet there are people who I'm going to be pissing off by saying this, but like
I think she's been a very big influence.
That's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think the Kardashians really have like started the whole lip filler trend.
They've definitely been a influence in this new lip culture. We'll say it. But I think where I have a hard time with it is like, do you want to get your lips done because it's going to make you inside feel better? Kind of like how we were talking about, like you've definitely had patients where like you've seen their true self come through once they get something small done, whether it's lips, your eyebrow, cheeks, anything.
Anything, right.
But at what point are you like, I'm doing this because I want to versus I'm doing this because society and Instagram and social media and these people online who aren't actually true human beings are showing us all that they're like genuinely real when like nothing about them is real. So like, I think that like for me, that's where I kind of have this like kind of tug of war, like conversation with myself. Like, I never wanted to get my lips done, and but again, I'm like, ooh, a lip flip, like that'd be interesting, like just to go up.
But you do have beautiful lips,
right?
So when I assess a patient, I'm looking at like all your facial featers. Like, are your facial features all harmonized? Which yours are, right? You have nice body to your lips. You have nice, beautiful eyes. If let's just say you had very thin lips, but you have bigger features, then like you would probably be a candidate for a little more plumping into lips, right?
Right.
So I think that's like one of the biggest how do I want to word this? I think one of the biggest influences is making sure that like your facial features all harmonize together. And a lot of times like I feel like that's why it's nice to have a good rapport and a good relationship and go to somebody that you trust because you can go to a service and just say you want lips and they just want to make money and plump filler into your lips. That's not my style, but there are injectors out there that will just do that.
And you want to create something for your patients that's going to be the best version of themselves in the long term.
Yes. It's not about changing who you are, but it's about upgrading your own beauty, right?
Correct.
So if you go off the edge and you have that classic Botox face or that, alien puffy pillow face.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's not a good look,
no.
right? So I just make sure like with all my patients, in particular that like, we're upgrading your own beauty. We're not distorting your beauty. The best look to me is almost like unnoticed.
Oh,
you notice it, right?
I love that saying though. Upgrade your own beauty. Don't make it look not like you. You're just enhancing the parts of you.
We're not changing who you are.
Right.
Right. So, I think that's one of the most important keys. I will fire patients, believe it or not.
Stop it.
If someone wants a service and I don't feel like it's appropriate, I will say no. On my end of it, right? So if let's just say someone has really ridiculous, let's just go with lips, right? Yeah. I don't want my name on those lips because people will ask, oh, who did your lips, right?
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't do the duck lips. It's
Yeah.
not for me.
Oh God,
You know?
they're so bad. Okay, so with fillers,
Okay.
are there different types of lip injections?
Yeah. So
Because I know I had a friend who we all got a friend.
Totally.
I had a friend who got it done, where I don't know if they like went away over time, but I was like, I didn't realize you had it, or I never realized that she had such a thin lip to begin with.
sure.
But like, can you take them out?
Yeah, so let's I guess let's break this down a little bit.
Yes, break it down, yeah.
First and foremost, like, what is filler? Filler is just hyaluronic acid.
Okay.
It's actually just a naturally occurring sugar molecule in the body. I know acid kind of sounds scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's really not.
Yes.
So we use fillers to fill, to plump, and to smooth, right?
Fill, plump, smooth. Got it.
Right?
Okay.
Very easy, okay? So because it's a naturally occurring sugar molecule found in the body, it naturally does get metabolized by like natural enzymes that we have in our body.
Okay.
So like, when we talk about like a lip filler per se, like it's lasts about like 6 months to a year. It all depends on your natural metabolism.
Okay.
But I'm kind of lost where I go.
No, you're talking about like the natural lip
Yes.
fillers and like how they come in.
Yeah. So and like there's different types of fillers out there. So specifically, like just because I have like most I guess experience or knowledge with hyaluronic acid fillers, that's really the only filler that I can really say because that's what I use in my own practice.
Do you have your lips done?
Actually, I do. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I can't stop staring at them, which sounds so creepy right now. But no, they look beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I like again, like this. I know this is like such a strange. But we're already having a weird conversation.
I love that you just asked me.
I was like, wait, do you have them done? Because they look. You know what it is like?
Yeah.
Like they're smooth.
They're smooth, right?
But
they're hydrated.
They're hydrated where
Yeah.
they look
Little
pillowy, but
pillowy,
they're not
yeah.
like a giant cloud.
No.
Which you see on some people, and like I know, like we all have had that where you're looking, you're like, oh my god,
Totally.
but they look, like your top and bottom look like flawless.
Thank you. I appreciate
Look
that.
flawless. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry, Nico.
Now I'm embarrassed
I'm
right now.
sorry.
Calling me out.
No, but they look good though.
Hey, practice
like,
what
yes,
you preach.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So I think that's like really great. Like, obviously like I'm hiding behind a mask right now given COVID.
Right.
But I feel like, if patients know that I'm doing these procedures to myself and I'm comfortable and I look normal. And
You look natural.
Yeah, natural. That
Yes.
is the key word, right? Looking natural and don't look overdone. Again, the best look is unnoticed.
Yes.
Subtle.
Subtlety.
Subtlety, totally. I feel like we're bouncing around everywhere.
No,
But I
it's
love
great
this.
though. I
It's
love
exciting
it.
for
It's
me.
great, and I hope everyone who's listening is like following
I was
along
like,
too.
what is happening right now? Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh my god, I either love this conversation or like, can you
Or
guys
they're
stay on
like-
fucking track right now?" Sorry, guys.
So with the hyaluronic
Yes.
acid fillers, right? So we have two different fillers that we use at SpaDerma that are out of the branch of hyaluronic acid. So
Okay.
like, think about like Pepsi and Coke, right? The biggest competitors of like a soda.
Right.
So we use the Juvederm line and we also have Restylane. They're the two big competitors, both hyaluronic acids. Okay.
Okay.
So within each line of fillers, they're different, right? So for instance, let's start with like Coke. You got like
Yeah.
Sierra Mist, or is it Sprite? God, I should get my shit together.
Coke
you
is,
got-
but
you-
yes,
you
what's
know-
under the Coke umbrella? We'll say
Totally.
yes.
What's underneath the umbrella?
Yeah.
So like some fillers are designed to go into lips. Some fillers are designed to smooth out lines, like, smile lines. Some fillers are designed to give structure and supports. For instance, like your jaw or your cheeks. So a filler that we put into a lip wouldn't be exactly the best filler to put into your jawline, right? So there's
interesting.
just a different plethora of different fillers. So yeah,
Let's go back to the different types of lips. The different type of lip injections that people would get then.
Yeah, so we could use like there really is like quite a different amount of filler for lips. Like when I'm looking at a lip, like what are we trying to do? Are we trying to hydrate a lip? So if we are hydrating a lip, I would choose a filler that's going to add more hydration.
Almost like a bounce, would you say, kind of?
No, like as we age, we start to lose volume in our face. That's
Yeah.
muscle, bone, fat, right? You look at somebody who's like in their later middle age, and you might see that their lips look a little more like wrinkly, right? It's because we have lost volume in the lip. So you want to choose a filler that's going to just add a nice little like hydration and get rid of the wrinkling, right?
Got you. Okay.
Not really creating too much volume, but more of a hydrator.
Gotcha.
if you want more of a projection or definition, we have firmer lip products that are going to give you that.
Nice.
So honestly, it's with these procedures, they're completely tailored per the person. It's all based on kind of consultation, what I'm assessing. Some fillers are not appropriate for, for specific needs or wants. It's all very specific.
Interesting.
I hope that helps.
No,
does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, it does make sense. Because it is, I think. So I guess everyone who's listening, I guess, and this is what it sounds like. And
sure.
So if I'm saying it correctly, tell me. If not, correct me. Just obviously having that consultation and figuring out what is the best for your lips.
Yourself.
Because
yeah.
what is best for you might not be what's best for your sister or your friend
totally
or whoever.
Not. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we trying to go for hydration for lips?
Yeah.
Are we trying to go for more projection? Are we trying to add more definition? Are we trying to define your the Cupid's bow, which is the two peaks of the upper lip, right? So it's all based on like what the client wants. And what's appropriate for their facial profile, right?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so it's completely tailored, which is like one of the most beautiful things about this. It's artwork, right? So it's combining artistry and medicine together.
Ooh, that's a beautiful.
Which I love.
I know.
Yeah.
So you're using your like logical brain and your creative brain almost at the same time.
100%. Yeah.
Like fantastic. Oh my god, I totally get why you went into this industry. Okay, so one thing that I have been interested in, probably I'd say within the last 2 years, is Kybella.
Kybella, awesome.
So,
one of my favorites.
Okay.
I gotta be honest with you.
So for those who know what Kybella is, but for those who don't, just maybe briefly explain it to them.
Yeah. So just like filler, which is like a synthetic sugar found, Kybella is another synthetic substance found in the body. So it actually. It's an acid, and it mimics like bile, the bile in our stomach that breaks down food or breaks down fat specifically. So what Kybella does is it breaks down fat in unwanted areas. So right now, what's FDA approved for fat removing areas with Kybella treatments is actually what we call the submental fat, or AKA double chin, right?
Oh my god! So I call this my at-risk chin because it's not quite a double chin, and like I like my jawline. I think I have a defined jawline for a woman.
Yeah, you do.
And I think as I've gotten older, I'm like, am I again? Like I love myself. I should preface that by saying that. But again, it's like. This, I'm like, if I could just like smoothen this out a little bit, I think I feel like it would enhance more of the
profile.
my natural
100%.
features that I have, and what I like to call, I have so many names for them, and I feel like you're going to lose your mind when I say this. So I love to work out, and I've been, my abs are coming in. I like my butt. I like my thighs, but my fucking bat wings, and they're my bingo bags. They're my high Helens. They're my lunch lady arms.
Sure.
That was the other reason why I wanted to get Kybella.
Like your bra fats.
Yeah, like the right under here.
Okay.
Again, because I feel like my top, my like bicep itself is there, and even when you do like the flex on your tricep, I'm like, it's there, but it's fucking covered by fat and it won't go away. But again, I think a lot of people feel this way, where you have those like stubborn areas where you
difficult.
You work out, you eat right, but you still can't get rid of it. Okay, we're back, guys. Brief intermission. Okay, so anyways, back to Kybella and back to how it
treats stubborn areas.
Stubborn areas. Yes.
So Kybella is great for people who are trying to. For instance, let's start with like the double chin or the submental fat that's underneath your chin. So a lot of times for a lot of people, this is a really hard area to target. Like, to lose weight in that area, to lose the fat. A lot of times there is a genetic disposition where, you look at your parents and they probably have it. Speaking of, parents are the best, I guess, the best foreshadow or the best descriptor of how we're going to turn out or how we're going to age. So look at your mom, look at your dad.
They're so beautiful and sexy. Thank you guys so much for giving me great genes. I'm so serious too.
How your parents age is a good reflection of how you're going to age. But with the submental fat or double chin fat, no matter how much you work out or what you do to lose weight, this is just a stubborn area. So Kybella is a great it's a great tool to use, or great, medication to use to destroy it. I call it permanent liquid liposuction. Okay.
Ooh.
It is non-invasive because you're not going underneath.
You're not going under the knife, right?
Correct. So, it is just injections of the Kybella medication into the fat itself.
So for that one, we had a question about that question about Kybella, which I thought I was really excited about. And the question is...
Wait, I love that we're getting these questions.
I know.
Like,
it says,
awesome.
So it says, if you do get the jaw sculpted, the Kybella, how long does it last for? And it is permanently.
Permanent.
So
let's echo that.
Permanent. So
yes.
So I guess could we say then the only time you would have to go back is like, let's say you yourself put on weight?
So
or no?
Well, yes and no. Okay.
Okay.
So usually with Kybella, you do require a couple sessions. It all depends on the degree of how much fat tissue or adipose tissue is just fat. How much adipose tissue you have underneath this area. So the more fat that you have, the more treatments that you're going to need in order to dissolve the fat. Okay.
Okay.
But once you do, it's permanent. You will never get fat there again. Will you get fat in surrounding areas? Yes, right? But you won't get fat again in the area that we injected. So it is permanent liquid liposuction.
Oh my God, sign me up. Okay, so that's probably going to happen at some point once I have a little bit more money in my pocket. But yes. Okay, so the one thing that you and I talked about before this and the timing of this, I guess it's like media in today's day and age moves so fast. So it's like
so fast.
It's kind of old news, but I don't think
I can't even keep up with like news today.
No one can.
No.
You saw The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Okay, so that in itself could be a whole podcast.
Can I say that I didn't love it and I had to fast forward through some parts?
It's okay. I think it's totally. It was mind fucking to me.
It was.
But the one thing that made me really sad, and this is where I'd love to get like your medical opinion as someone who's in this field all the time, is this new thing called like people are getting Snapchat filters. And I know I've had this happen with girlfriends and guy friends where you go out to a bar. Obviously we really can't go to bars like we used to anymore, but like you go out, you're wanting to take a selfie with your buddy, your group of people, and a lot of times I'll have friends go on Instagram or Snapchat and put a filter on us and not just take a natural photo. And I remember thinking, I'm not a big Snapchat person to begin with. Like I use Snapchat to see my nieces and nephews, but there are people who use Snapchat specifically to enhance parts of themselves of which they probably wish they would look like. And so it's created now, they said, this like almost body dysmorphia of people being upset that like, oh my God, I don't look like my Snapchat filter, and Tammy and Sally and Susie and Lucy all have these like beautiful faces, but in reality, like what they're posting is probably not naturally what they look
authentic,
like. Yeah,
right?
It's not even who they are. So I guess my question for you is like the people who come into you, like have you had anyone come in like expressing that type of like frustration, and like at that point, like, because to me it's like, yes, it can help, but like to me that's like a deeper issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say right now?
No, honestly, yeah, 100%. Fortunately, I haven't ran into like that body dysmorphia situation.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, that's really good. But I definitely see the risk and the potential that these filters are influencing, especially probably like younger men or females, like, right? And they're like teens, right? I could see like how that can affect their appearance.
Yeah.
Trying to create that like that Instagram face, right? Or that Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where the importance of going to somebody who is not going to allow that to happen, right? I think that you need to have realistic expectations, and I think that like the treatments that you're seeking need to just reflect upgrade you, not change who you are, right? So that's where this gets a little,
It's got to get dicey on your end too, because if you haven't run into it, you're probably going to at some point, and that could be like, I don't know, like how would you handle it, I guess?
Again, like I'll say no. I will.
Yeah.
If someone wants duck lips, I'll tell them I won't do it, I can't.
Yeah.
To me, it's me putting my name on a billboard and honestly distorting somebody's face. It's
I'm with you.
It's
yeah.
tricky.
Yeah. It is really tricky, and I guess I don't even know what I'm trying to get from this, but when that came up in the social dilemma, it was a really interesting question because I'm a millennial. Mm-hmm. I'm a young millennial, I guess we'll say. I'm 27, and I'm a part of this weird generation where like I've seen life without the internet, without social media.
Sure.
But then I've lived life with social media too, where I'm not my 16-year-old cousin who has had social media her whole life.
Like I remember the AOL dial-up tone,
oh my God,
right?
Who didn't love an AOL chat room before the creeps came in.
Took 10 minutes to get onto the internet.
Before it was like instantaneous. It was a click of the hand.
Right, exactly.
But I fear for her, and like obviously I don't know if we have a younger generation listening, and if you are, guys, please let me know. I'd love to know that you're listening to this. But I am definitely fearful of the younger girls and even younger boys because I feel like we assume it's girls, but I gotta believe it's boys too that are probably feeling this way. But like,
believe it or not, men are actually more predominant. Not more predominant.
But they're probably higher than you think.
They're getting men are more men than ever are seeking cosmetic procedures now than before. So,
do you have like a percentage of like men that come through your door?
I do. I would honestly say probably 85% females and 15% men, or maybe 80
That's
to 1.
A lot.
Yeah, so it's a lot. A lot of men are coming in because middle-aged men are coming in because they're divorced and they want to look refreshed, right? And they want to stay. They want to find maybe a younger girl, right?
Maybe I could be someone's sugar daddy. I don't know.
Or men who want to stay competitive in the workforce against their other peers who are younger and
Okay, that you hit the nail on the head. That was the number one reason in a research study that I found for why people got Botox was to stay relevant and competitive in the workforce. And I guess I remember thinking like, what the hell? But then I'm like, okay, Jenna, back to what I'm trying to do.
Right.
That's exactly it. Like, so I think, you think about like high-end executives, like, or even like I think there was this thing about presidents, like most of our presidents in history have always been very like athletic looking. Like, so they show this sense of like their figure and that they care about themselves and that they're in shape. So why wouldn't you want someone who's a boss in charge to present the same way as well?
Right.
And it was just such an interesting
like concept.
Yeah, like so interesting. So guys, if
so believe it or not, men are big players in aesthetic procedures right now.
Is it just what do you think is the biggest thing for men what do men mostly get done?
I would honestly say a lot of like my male patients, they're doing the same stuff that females are doing too.
Wow.
Like, they're doing lip enhancements, aka me.
Yeah.
Right? They're doing preventive skincare, whether they're doing facials with an esthetician, they're stepping up their products, or they're seeking anti-wrinkle treatments, right? So men are more interested today in their physical appearance, right?
Yeah.
Than they ever have been. And I think they're just more in tune in that I think there also is this stigma, right? There was definitely a big stigma of this let's just say anti-cosmetic procedures, anti-Botox, anti-fillers.
Yeah.
I feel like that's become almost like taboo now at this point.
Yeah.
So men are also now starting to like ease up on those old stigmas and just, wanting to take care of themselves and look good and feel good.
That's what it comes down to is there's nothing, because we do have male listeners, because obviously for the most part of the time we talk about sports. So guys, I hope you are listening to this podcast today because it does relate to you as well. But when I'm single, but I look at a man, and when I'm looking at someone, to me, I'm looking at like the way you hold yourself and the way you take care of yourself, like on the outside, is a direct reflection on the inside.
Yeah.
So like if you look like shit, then you must feel like it sounds so shitty, but it's like
totally,
if you are on the outside or presenting yourself like shit, then on the inside you must feel like shit and not care about yourself.
Yeah.
So then why would I want to deal with that? And I wonder.
And it's true because when you look good, you feel good, right? It's kind of like that constant theme.
Look good, feel good, do
so,
good. Look good, feel good, do good. Okay. We've bounced around a
we
lot.
did.
We really bounced around a lot, guys. Okay, so
I've had 2 sips of maybe 3 sips of wine, so it's not the wine.
It's not. No, it's just my wine probably. But you go ahead and take a sip. I'm just looking over some of my notes right now to make sure we covered everything. We still have a few more talking points, but I guess we'll go back to like the younger generation because I do want to go back to that.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah, because I think we kind of bounced out of that.
We bounced out of that.
You know, I think like honestly with the younger generations, like, you know, I mean, because gosh, like I feel like 8th graders have cell phones now. That's probably an overstatement. I think it's probably like 4th graders.
It's probably like
which they have access to, you know,
Snapchat, the filter
and
features,
filtering their faces. So I think that's where it's important that we have like a oh my god, I can't say
legislator,
or not legislator, but we have rules and laws, and we have, you know, standards. Like someone under 18 should not ever be allowed to get a cosmetic procedure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think that even with like parental consent that they should ever be allowed to.
Yeah.
God, if I could like take back the times before I was 18 in the tanning bed.
Oh my God,
signature,
right.
God, I'm kicking myself in the butt for that right now. But like, I think that, you know, it's good that we have these standard operations of like what is allowed, what isn't allowed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that body dysmorphia, I think, can really play a role in these younger teens.
With body dysmorphia, it is because I guess I didn't realize until I watched The Social Dilemma how big it has gotten and how many young kids now are suffering from it. Mm-hmm. And again, I want to preface this by saying, like, I'm going to believe it's boys and girls. It's not just girls, which I think people would assume it to be just young girls. I'm thinking it's young boys.
I think it's everybody.
I think it's everyone.
You know?
I think there's such this standard now, and I guess this is, you know, maybe a full circle moment of,
sure.
You know, how do we... God, I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now, but it's like...
No, I know what you're saying.
It's hard because I think... Yeah. I truly believe in, like, if you can do one thing on the outside to make you feel good on the inside, do it. 100%. But at what point...
Does it become toxic?
Yeah. And does it become a really unhealthy relationship with yourself?
And again, like, you know, like, even in my practice today, like, I have encountered patients where they want more, and I have to tell them, like, no, like, you look beautiful, you look great, like, I don't want to distort who you are.
That's got to be a hard conversation.
It really is a hard conversation, but again, I will say no, and I feel like though, like, having that honesty and having an injector that's going to put their foot down, that's so important. So, you know, again, do your research when you find an injector. Make sure you're going to
go to someone who doesn't want to just take your money.
Exactly.
And I think that goes back to listen to your profile,
gut. Right?
Yeah.
Like, go to their Instagram page. Yeah. See what kind of work they do. Like, you know, is their work more natural? You know, like, what are you seeking? Do you have common ideals, common goals? But, yeah, I think that there is this... I'm torn right now with this.
It's a weird beauty. It's a weird beauty standard that I think we live in.
Beautification, right?
Yeah.
Are we now are these people just distorting themselves because they have this insecurity about themselves?
I think what we've been trying to say this entire time.
Yes. You know, I read this really interesting research. There's research right now that's showing the rise of cosmetic injectables has like gone up so much in the last like, I don't know, 5 or so years. Like, it's $1 billion industry.
That's wild.
It's wild, right? But
I need more wine.
What research is showing right now is this kind of like an innate, like, are we doing this because this is a sexual drive? Are we doing this because we want to, you know, better our looks to gain a better partner? Like, is this like a type of evolution?
Oh.
Isn't that a really interesting take that, you know, you're doing this physical outside appearance because we know that, right, sex sells.
Yeah.
If you look good, you might find a better partner.
Right.
I was mind-boggled when I read this, but
that's shocking.
It's a real thing, right?
That's shocking. You'll have to send me that, and I'll post it in the show notes. So if you guys want to read it, you can go ahead and read it. Okay, so at what point should a person come to you? And what I mean by that is, let's say me, for example. We'll say on the fence.
Okay.
What is the conversation you want a potential patient to have with themselves before they're finally like, okay, I'm doing this?
Why? And what? Why are you seeking these treatments, right? Like, what's going on? A lot of times, like, what we are emotionally dealing with reflects physically, right? Someone who's having a really hard time in life, going through a really rough patch, they physically will show it, right? Like, if you haven't slept in a long time, you're going to physically look like tired.
Yeah.
You're not going to look healthy. So why are you doing this? Are you doing this for somebody else? Are you doing this for you? Are you doing this because you've lost that confidence? Are you doing this because, you know, you look at your parents and you see how they age and you don't want to look or you don't want to age that way, right? So I think the first and foremost important aspect of it is, why are you doing this? And then what are you trying to do, right? So are you trying to improve your skin? Do you have acne? Do you have, you know, deep lines at rest and you don't like that? So there's variances and there's differences of like what and why. So I think you first need to like think inside, like what's the sole purpose of this?
Right.
Did
That totally makes sense. So, and then, okay, a few more questions. Go ahead.
No, and I think that, like, you know, I think the first and most important part is, like, get a consultation. You know, I don't think that you should go somewhere, rush into a treatment. I think that you should go in for a full facial global assessment, find out, like, you know, what would be appropriate for you, get some more information before you just go ahead and take the leap, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think that there's a lot of, like, education as a patient to be informed about prior to doing any type of medical procedure. Injectables are a medical procedure. You have to know the risk, especially when it comes to facial fillers, and you just need to be aware.
So true. Okay, so to backtrack one last thing, because I know there was one more thing I wanted to talk about, because we talked about lips, Botox, and Kybella. I don't know what the technical term is, but people who have bags under their eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we call them tear trough deformities.
Okay. What can is Botox can Botox help get rid of those bags?
Yeah. So let's make this even easier. So
Okay.
Botox is going to be for muscle movement.
Okay.
Filler is going to be used to, again, just fill, plump, and smooth. Okay.
So for bags, you would want to fill, plump, and smooth?
Totally. We want to fill, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
We want to smooth the transition between the mid-face and the under-eye area. So Botox is really strictly going to be used just for, you know, muscles and muscle movement, just relaxing that. And then fillers are going to be used to, you know, do the other. So when we're talking about like an under eye, you know, most under eye appearances occur because we lose volume. As we age, we start to lose a lot of volume in our face. That's muscle, bone, fat, right? Volume loss is part of the aging process.
Yeah.
So with hyaluronic acid fillers, we can replace lost volume or replace volume that we maybe never had, right? Someone with small lips, we can replace that. So with under eye filler, what we're doing is we're filling in the gaps. We're starting to lose volume in the face.
Got you.
Does that help?
Yes, that makes sense. Because I know I'm going to have a cousin listening to this who is actually, we haven't got the news yet but she's at the hospital about to give birth. So
wait, I knew that.
Yeah, so we have a baby.
That's so exciting.
We have a baby on the way.
Congrats.
I know. So I'm actually surprised I haven't gotten the text yet, but maybe, I mean, we still have a few more hours left in the night, so who knows? Who knows? Okay, so we talked obviously a lot, and we kind of bounced around all over the place.
We bounced a lot.
We bounced around a lot, and I hope everyone was able to follow this.
A lot of times I can't shut up either, so I like bring one topic to the next.
But then I have to ask follow-up questions.
Carol, get your shit together.
Carol and Karen are all over the place today. What do you want people to know about the like cosmetic industry that maybe they have like a little bit of a judgmental mind about?
Yeah, totally. So, you know, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that, right? To each their own. Cosmetic procedures are for you and nobody else, right? We're just upgrading your own beauty. I think I've said this a lot.
I love that saying, though. I love it. Yeah.
This is just to make you look refreshed, just a better version of yourself. So if you are bothered by something, you know, I think that you should do it. You live once and life is so short. do I think that you know, obviously we got to draw the line
We have to draw the
somewhere,
line somewhere.
right?
But again, if it's you know,
little small tweaks
to enhance you,
build your own confidence, boost your own
Yes.
confidence, make you feel good in your own skin, then
Yes.
I say do it.
yes,
You know,
I love that. I love that. No, I seriously
it's kind
do.
of like this. I feel like a lot of these questions are kind of repeating this this theme, right?
But it's the truth. Like
Yeah.
you just, I don't know, if it's gonna make you be the best version of you, then be the best
Right.
version of you.
You know, and I think again, like all of your facial features should all harmonize together. There should never be a distraction. So like when I look at somebody, like, you know, your windows are the eyes to your soul, right? I want to look at your eyes. Everything else should harmonize together. The attraction should never go from other feature other than your eyes.
That's beautiful.
And I swear by that, and I tell all my patients that too.
Oh my God, it's so
And it's the
true.
truth, though, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
So-
Oh, Nico, I love that.
But, you know, I guess, like, you know, I totally get it. Like, these procedures are not for everybody. There's a cost, you know, there's downtime.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, so lastly, give yourself a shout out. Where can people find you? So give them your Instagram name and like where you work
Absolutely.
at and all that jazz. So if anyone's listening and you want a consultation with Nico,
Yeah, come and get a consultation.
you obviously can go, because I know we did have some people in the Chicagoland area who are very interested.
Absolutely.
So,
And I'm
yes.
taking, you know, new patients right now, but
Lovely.
I'm working at SpaDerma, so we have quite a few different locations. I'm at the West Loop location on Madison. You can find me, not hashtag.
At
Handle.
Yeah, handle. At yes. Nico.
God, I'm horrible.
It's okay.
So my handle is Nico, Nico. That's _ SpaDerma.
Beautiful. And then, guys, that'll be in the show notes too. So you can always just click down from the podcast, look at the notes, and then it'll take you directly to Nico's Instagram account, and you can see all of the beautiful work he's done. He's done some fantastic stuff. And then we are going to raise our glass. So everyone who's watching,
Thanks
listening.
for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you. And then what did you say? We are enhancing your natural beauty.
Yeah.
So here's to enhancing.
Upgrading your own beauty.
Upgrading
right?
your own beauty. That's the
Yeah.
phrase. Upgrading your own beauty.
Cheers.
I love it.